Well, hello YouTube. My name is Brad, and I wanted to give you a kind of a case study of my particular experience with Animal STAK. I don't know if there's very many YouTube videos out there on Animal STAK. I doubt there are, and I wanted if you had any ideas of whether or not you wanted to take Animal STAK and Animal Test. I thought I would provide you with a little bit of information as how it affected me. Right now I'm in Afghanistan, which that's irrelevant, but what that means is I have a lot of time to train. Pretty much I can devote as many hours of the day as I really want to train and to plan my workouts. And if I want to do 2 a days, I could exercise twice a day, once in the evening, once in the morning, that kind of thing. So just basically, Animal Test and Animal STAK are a product by Animal Pack. This is Animal Test, and this is Animal STAK. Both purchased from me independently from the same source. I found it to be cheapest on bodybuilding.com, but I only tried 2 different places, bodybuilding.com and vitaminshop.com. It was $69.99 for the Animal Test, and I believe it was $29.99 for the Animal STAK. Both can be used in conjunction with each other to help realize bigger gains. Both are a 21-day supplement, so yeah, it's quite a bit of money for 21 days. Hopefully I'll see some really impressive results, and it'll be well worth the money, I hope. I'm going to be off camera for a second here. I also am going to follow it up with Animal M-STAK. It's recommended by Animal Packs that you take Animal M-STAK afterwards so as to keep the gains that you have made when taking the test and the STAK together. Both test and STAK are anabolic, are pro-hormones, and Animal M-STAK is not a pro-hormone. So it is recommended that you take test for a total of 42 days, which would mean 2 packets, two boxes, but I'm not going to pay for another box. So I'm 185 pounds today, weighed myself this morning, and I'm also supplementing very heavily. I'm a big fan of supplementation. So let me show you what I'm supplementing with here. Okay, I've got a whole supplement regime that I plan, I guess, that I plan on using. In the morning I wake up to a protein shake, and I drink a lot of water throughout the day because I'll be taking CX5, which contains 5 different kinds of creatine. I eat the food that's provided here, which is not very good at all, and I need to take a lot of extra protein because the food that we're provided with has very little protein, and they're very small meals. I take a vitamin pill, Optimin Vitamin. Glucosamine is around here somewhere. The glucosamine is good for joints, and it's usually combined with chondroitin. So if you are concerned about, I'm 32 years old, if you're concerned about any joint issues, you might want to consider taking glucosamine. It's relatively inexpensive. I take 1/3 of the recommended dosage. With Optimin, it's recommended to take 3 pills a day. I take 2 pills a day. I also take fish oil. I don't even consider that a supplement. I consider it almost a necessity along with vitamins. Pretty much those are something someone should take anyway. Then I go ahead and stretch for an hour and a half. Again, I have plenty of time here. And I use P90X Stretch X. I eat meals provided to me in care packages because, again, I'm trying to get, I don't really know, somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 calories, I believe, a day. Probably closer to 4. And so I'm at the mercy of what is sent to me. So some of the things are not all that healthy. You know, packaged meals with a lot of sodium. But I try to eat the healthiest ones that I can and kind of pawn off the other things that are not provided. So a lot of chunky soup, for example. Ignore the chips. And then I eat breakfast, and then I take the test. And I guess I'm probably taking too long for this. So also I'm taking BCAA after I work out. I'll be taking casein protein in the evenings just before bed. I do take a pre-workout that's 1 MR, and vitamin D3 supplements, pretty necessary, as well as I take a ZMA, and again I take 1/3 of the recommended dosage for that. And there's no reason. The only reason behind taking these smaller dosages is just to spread out the get more for my money, I guess. I figure they give a dosage like that for someone who's probably 225 pounds and has been lifting for years, and again I weigh 185. So, well, hello YouTube. It's day 22. It's time for results. You can kind of see for yourself if you've seen any changes from earlier in the video. I grow kind of slow. I'm kind of a hard gainer, I guess you'd say. So for me, I hardly have seen results, it seems like, in a long time. But when I look at the numbers look good. And so I've got them all written down, but I'll give the ones that people really care about, starting with biceps. Biceps prior to were 14¼ inches. That's not flexed, by the way. And they went up to 15½. So I gained a 1¼ inches on my bicep. Seems pretty crazy. I gained 3/4 of an inch across my chest, and I gained nothing on the calves, which is pretty expected. I actually gained pretty decent size on my forearms, unless I measured right from a mole that I have, which is halfway between my elbow and my this part of my wrist where I've been told you're supposed to measure from, which happens to be right on a mole. So I know I'm pretty consistent, and I went up by ½ inch on my forearms. Shoulders also gained 3/4 of an inch. I could see my chest gain 3/4 of an inch because I was working on my lats a lot while I was doing these last 3 weeks, and my neck gained ½ inch as well. Talking about weight, so started at 185 and finished at 192. That's a gain of 7 pounds. But I also started creatine at the exact same time, which may skew all these numbers ever slightly, but especially my weight at the beginning. From day 0 to day 1, I gained 2 pounds. Now, there's always day-to-day fluctuations, and I measured every day, but I'm going to account for the first 2 pounds to be gained due to water weight with creatine. So I'm going to start with 187 on day 1. Means I gained a total of 5 pounds throughout this entire cycle, which I can see that happening. Hopefully my voice hasn't changed since the last time, since a few minutes ago in the video, 3 weeks ago. I don't notice it has. I don't notice any different acne, any mood swings or anything like that. I've noticed that I'm not emotional like sometimes people get when they're taking pro hormones. I do have like a few extra hairs that I've noticed on my shoulders that didn't seem like they were there before. We'll see if they go away. I don't know. But that's another side effect of pro hormones, is supposed to be hairs on your back and acne on your back. None of the acne, just a couple extra hairs. But maybe I'm just because I'm paying attention to them more now. So overall, my impressions. Oh, and I gained 20 pounds on my bench. So my bench went up from 245 1 rep max to 265 1 rep max. The test cycle and the stack together was $100 exactly. If I add on the M-STAK, which I'm going to start taking now, which helps me keep all the gains I made, it's $130. I feel like it's probably worth it for me in my particular experience. So that's really what the meat and the potatoes of this video is about. That $100 fairly well spent. So probably in the future I'll do another cycle, do the exact same tests to see if I continue to make gains, or maybe this was something that, you know, was abnormal for me. I also did a little bit of running. Unfortunately, I had a physical training test that I had to prepare running for, so I ran for 4 days during this cycle, which I didn't want to do, but I had to. So overall, with all things considered, pretty happy with it. Go Universal Nutrition, go Animal Pack and Animal Test. Thank you very much.